This is The Goode Show.
Welcome to this week's episode. My name's Surinder. I got Kim in the car with me, as you can see, and we are heading up to Los Angeles, to La La Land, to work with Joe Ramirez from the Military Veteran Entertainment Awards. And this weekend, we're going to have Nick Lannon, veteran Marine, who is going to be...
405 Express.
Did everybody hear that? I've got to keep left to stay on the 405 Express. Nick Lannon, veteran Marine. He's doing a pilot of his talk show. Late night talk show. No agenda, just fun. That's it. No agenda. Just good fun. Okay, so we're going to go up there. We're going to watch that. Tickets are still available. So if you're going to be in the Los Angeles area, go to mvawards.org and you can purchase tickets for Nick Lannon at the American Legion, Pacific Palisades.
That was a really good lunch, Surinder.
Did you like it?
Yep.
Okay, I'm glad you did.
And Pat, I liked my steak salad, so you can't tell me I don't like steak salad from Outback, and you should probably take me there.
Well, that is where we stopped people. We stopped at Outback because we're heading up, like I said, to the American Legion. And this is where we got to multitask. You know, we got to shoot this episode out Tuesday, and I really want to say a couple of things about the transition, especially since my good friend here, Kim, will be going through it. Let's be honest, it's a little bit like the menopause, whether we want to or not. If your man, your gal, your partner is in the service, you're going to go through it. It is what it is, and we don't have the blue jacket manual. But this is just a quick episode today because a couple of things, well, one major thing that I want to point out that we don't often talk about. And Kim, I mean, you and Pat, how long have you and Pat been together?
25 years. We've been married.
25 years. Now, I mean, it's basics. Again, it's the basics of life. You're not the same person as you were 25, 28, 26 years ago. 5 years ago.
Not at all.
Right? Not at all. You're two different people. And I think sometimes we forget this because maybe we're looking for something to blame, to take the excuse, to be the reason why we can't get our shit together. You know, but there is some basic stuff. People change over the years. That simple. And I feel like, you know, whereas in the civilian life, Kim, obviously, you know, when you got a 9 to 5, you coming home every day, you see a person every day. You tend to grow with them as they change because you change as well. Whereas, like when Pat's away, I mean, you know, when my guy was away, you experience different things, you like different things, you know.
Totally different world.
Completely. So I think if everybody can remember that some of this transitional stuff is just really life. It's nobody's fault. You know, we grew up together on paper, together when we were together. But after my guy served 30 years and I went through, I don't know, double-digit deployments, you know, my interests, likes, dislikes were different to his. And then the other thing as well is, Kim, you know, and spouses, we all know this. Like, there's some stuff my guy's never going to tell me about his active duty career. And I'm pretty sure there's some stuff that Pat's most likely not going to tell you, you know?
Definitely not.
And they really have seen different things. We've been not comfortable, but we've had the luxury, or we've had some luxury in being at home, enjoying our home comforts while...
In the United States.
Yeah. Well, they're on deployment. Yep. And yeah, there's no luxury in, you know, you're thinking, is my guy coming back or is everything okay? But...
We're safe.
Yeah, exactly. We're safe. we're still here. And I always think that, I mean, well, we know that that's hard, but it's got to be hard for them because they leave. That's why I always think as well, they leave. The service member has to leave. It's always harder when you're leaving.
I've always felt so awful when he's gone. He's missing out on so much. Birthdays, holidays, births.
Yeah.
I mean, Pat's never missed a birth, but your husband has.
Yeah.
Your first child.
Yeah. You know?
It's crazy.
You know, that was crazy. Is I always remember, you know, it was like I was conditioned that, hey, you know, okay, I'm not going to be back for the birth of the kid. And I was like, okay. I was just like, okay, I guess that's just the way that is. But I will say, you know, thank gosh for community, as we both know.
Did you have people there with you?
My mother-in-law was in town. She came in from North Carolina. And then the remainder of SEAL Team 1.
That's awesome.
I just remember coming out and people cheering, and I was like, okay, you know, women, zero dignity, but it's not that kind of, you know, it's that kind of, they were just
SEAL
there
Team 1 wasn't in there in the room.
But I do remember, I will say this about Balboa Hospital. Predicted the birth of both of my kids spot on.
Really?
Spot on.
You had a great experience there?
I had a great experience. They had just completed the new maternity wing at Balboa. And I'd heard some horrendous stories.
You always hear horrendous stories.
I know.
I had a great experience in Norfolk. I had Will there, and Will came out not breathing, and everything turned out great. He's 13 years old now, but, you know, I never had a problem. These Navy hospitals know what they're doing.
Yeah, I have to say, you know,
there's a 5-minute slowdown caused by crashes in 1.5 miles.
Uh-oh.
You're still on the fastest route.
5-minute slowdown, but this is what happens on the way to La La Land. I know I didn't have a bad experience at all. I had a fantastic experience, made some great friends. You know, when it's your first kid, you know, you're a little bit more neurotic about that. And, but no, great experience and all. Great experience with Jordan as well. Same wing, same hospital. Always good in the hood. He was home for Jordan though. But
how did he do through that?
How did he do through that? Well, you know what I always remember is that I remember being at Balboa, and I remember waiting for my epidural. And the epidural dude walked in, and my husband looked at him, they looked at each other, and they started talking about some ARG deployment. And I remember like thinking, hello people.
I'm dying.
Yeah, about to have a baby. But yeah, he was good. He was
He
good.
didn't pass out?
No. You know, and I'm so glad he got to witness the birth of at least one of his kids, you know.
It wasn't a C-section?
No, nothing wrong with me. I just went blap, blap, blap. Although I do remember calling my sister, who's a midwife, and I remember calling my sister one day and I went, oh my gosh, I forgot to go to Lamar's class because I was running the coffee carts. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to go to Lamar's class. You know, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And she went, Surinder, you know, there are women in third world countries having, you know, babies in the middle of a field. They didn't go to Lamar's class. You're going to be just fine. And obviously I was.
You have 2 beautiful children.
Yeah, and yeah, very fortunate that way. You have 700 beautiful children.
Yep.
Yeah?
754.
754, that's right.
That's a good number.
We don't want to be overpopulating the place. Actually, we should be overpopulating the place right now. Okay, so we were talking about the transition and off we went on another digression. Kimmy, you in about maybe 10 months, less than a year, you'll be at the other end of you'll be entering. Well, you have already entered the transition.
We've entered it.
Yes.
He put in all his stuff months ago, but they still haven't cleared it. I don't know what it is, what they do. Like, it hasn't passed, like saying, okay, you can retire.
I don't know what that's called. I can't remember what that's called. I think that's just called getting to it. So, okay, but now the discussions, you know, obviously discussions about transition, retirement. I mean, it's got to be anxious. You got to feel a little
Pat's
bit
very worried about
life after.
life after, big time. Financially, what am I going to do? What's going to happen? How am I going to pay the bills? Like,
You know, my guy went through the same thing, and everybody that I talk to, they go through the same thing because you know, for so long, we as spouses also get used to the fact that they're going to get a paycheck every 2 weeks. We get, conditioned to that too. So it's, yeah, absolutely cause of concern, as to what's going to happen afterwards. And everybody that I speak to has those same, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And you got to, you got to do something. I mean, don't you think some of that is the guys, most, the service members that are guys, it's even the women. Actually, I take all of that back. Don't cancel me. I take it all back. If you've been in the military, I think, isn't it a kind of, it's the habit, the conditioning.
yep.
You got to do something.
Can't just stay home.
No. We did enough of that during COVID. Why is there always so much traffic going to LA? It's what, is that the time already? It's 10 to 2. I feel like we've been sitting in this traffic since 8 o'clock this morning. This is kind
Camp
of...
Pendleton was closed down, so we were in traffic for there for a while.
That's true. We don't know what happened there, but yeah, everything was closed down. So, like good folks, we just stayed out of the way. Let people do what they needed to do. Okay, listen, I think we're going to wrap this up because we're getting closer to LA, even though it's just like a crawl and a stumble. But I hope you've enjoyed this week's real casual conversation. Again, what I want you to leave with is that you're two different people, regardless of profession. We grow differently. That's just the way that is. And give each other some grace. Give each other some grace. Get your anxiety levels down, Kimmy. You're going to be just fine. Everything's going to be good. Look at me. I made it. All right, my name's Surinder.
My name's Kimberly.
And we're going to focus on La La Land traffic. We're out.
Wish us luck.
I know. I know.
Thanks for tuning in to The Goode Show. If you loved what you heard, follow me on Instagram @The Goode Show.